If variety is a spice of life, No Man's Sky is fucking tofu. It's amorphous, formless. It tastes like whatever the fuck it's around. And what's around it is fuck all. There is nothing in this game. When you are tofu and you taste like whatever you're around and what is around you is empty space, that goes to explain what the fuck happened with No Man's Sky. Period.
Yes, it was tofu wrapped in kale. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Wrapped in British food.
Dude, it does. It bums me out because on paper, everything about this is amazing.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of glaring issues that were outside of the game. The fact that this is an indie studio, like it or not, this is an indie studio that was given AAA treatment on a big fucking stage.
Yeah.
But they weren't given the fucking additional resources to go and crank out what they wanted to. They were just given the stage. Yeah. And once you go out there and you're promising the fucking world, or in this case, the galaxy, to a bunch of people and concepts that they may not have ever seen done up to this degree, and you can't deliver even after delays, then what? I'd rather them just have said, this is a game that we're making to be announced, and just leave it at that until you are 100% fucking certain, because you have one chance to make a first impression, and the minute that you squander it, look at No Man's by and understand that this game had one shot and it fucking failed. And that's why you saw that shit, even on clearance, they couldn't move a single one of them. So it just huddled up for fucking warmth beside Mighty Number 9 and said, you know what? We'll just kill ourselves at the end of the year.
You know what the true indicator of a shit game that... okay. Because nowadays, marketeering has proliferated to the point where you can kind of brush away even shitty games under the proviso that, look, GameStop wants to sell copies of these games. Why do you think Game Informer gives higher scores on average to even shit games? Like, even a shit game in Game Informer magazine gets like a 5 out of 10, right? Because they're basically owned by GameStop. They want to sell more copies. It makes sense. But here's how you know No Man's Sky is shit. Because even when people defend it, they don't go categorically, oh, but this is so amazing, and that's so amazing. What is the one phrase you always fucking hear about No Man's Sky? Well, I got what I expected. That's the defense. So if somebody promises you a bag of turds, and you receive a bag of turds, apparently that's fucking fine, basically. That's basically the tale of No Man's Sky.
That's a horrible fucking anything. If I would love to see a defense attorney and walk in and during some shit during a murder trial. I'm like, well, I got what I expected. The judge would be like, what is it, April Fools? Are you fucking with me? Are you tugging my fucking nugs? What's happening? No Man's Sky, it's sad because even after all that horse shit, if they sat there and continuously worked on the game and patched it, and eventually it came out to be the game that it was always meant to be, it is way too late. And nobody would be convinced otherwise, because I've seen plenty of games that came out that were kind of fucked up, and then weeks and sometimes even months later, they were perfect. Look at Arkham Knight on PC. That right there was a goddamn fucking can of shit. And they treat it just like that. They patched it up. It runs beautifully. And it's a lot of fun on PC, plays how it's supposed to. But that was after them having to give everybody their fucking money back, after a shit ton of critics going the fuck off about it, after tons of bad press. Who the fuck was going to want to bother with it? Even at $2, nobody's going to want to bother with it. They'd rather look at Zoe Quinn and say, you know what? I might actually take a chance on that bullshit than on Arkham Knight. And that's sad.